Science defines us. It defines what we know of. It defines what we do. It defines how we do whatever it is that we do. It defines how we live, and it affects each and every one of us. Yes, I know you're all sitting there thinking about that science textbook that you have, full of complex equations and definitions, full of facts that you must memorize by Monday. Like, for example, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus are the first 15 elements of the periodic table. And you're probably sitting there thinking, no way that defines me. No way does that define how I live my life every day. I don't blame you for that thought that you have. Here's why. Because it is schools and society that define science as a collection of facts that you must memorize. And that's exactly what we do. We memorize facts and forget everything the instant we finish writing that exam paper and we move on. The strange thing is, people think you're good at science if you can memorize a lot of facts. That's absurd, because what you're really good at is memorizing facts, not science, because science isn't about memorizing facts. Don't believe me when I say that science is not all about memorizing facts? That's okay, you don't have to take my word for it. Here's what one of the greatest scientists, Carl Sagan, has to say. Science is a way of thinking, much more than it is a body of knowledge. And Michio Kaku, we think memorization is science, and that's not true at all. Go back to the time when you were all very young. During your early days at kindergarten, the only thing you did back then was science. Yes, science. You were filled with curiosity and explored literally everything around you. You played with sand, felt different materials, ran around eating all sorts of things, curious to find out what would happen if I did this or that, and you did exactly this and that and got your answers. But where has that curiosity gone now? We are all born scientists. Like one of my favorite scientists and public speaker, Neil Tyson, says, an adult scientist is a kid who never grew up. In school, when we are first introduced to the periodic table of elements, we are told, here's the periodic table of elements, memorize the first 15 elements by Monday. We have a test. That's not what science is. If this was a science classroom, it would have started off by saying, this is the periodic table of elements. It is arranged in order of increasing atomic number. This helps us determine the properties of individual elements. For homework, I want you to go home and research about what an atomic number is and how it can help us determine different properties of different elements. This way of teaching will create a fascination in science. It will encourage students to learn more and learn for themselves. This is science. I do not need to tell you how important science is today. Just look at all the technology around you, including the most magical device, a hearing aid. The whole world runs around science and technology. It is the leading force that drives our economy. Michio Kaku says, it must be a strange world not being a scientist, going through life, not knowing or caring about where the air came from, where the stars at night come from, and how they are from us. I want to know. You don't have to go through high school or have to have gone through high school doing chemistry, physics, biology to create a fascination in science. Science is more of a perception and a way of thinking than it is a subject. It is very important for us all to be science literate. When I say science literate, I don't mean that you can memorize some order of elements. I mean you have a skeptical way of thinking where you ask questions and are aware of what is happening around you. Bring back the curiosity you once had. Be curious, because through science, curiosity can be satisfied. Thank you.